Hello, everybody. You still stay with us. Now we're going to the second session that will be presented by three speakers about the gamification. One is Joanna Mitnick from Gdansk University of Poland. And second one is Dr. Lani Hartanti is from Surabaya, Mandala University. And then the third one is Mr. Pani Chalit from the University Islam Jakarta. So I would like to you can see what we say about the brief of the gamification is suitable for the apply for grade 1 until grade 12 and higher education. This is the tool for that allow to implementation game elements in a non-games environment as the university or engage innovate student to learn. So it changes that way thinking about learnings. Approach for learnings, gamify course for as a games. The student behave as game players. So we go to the information about our first speaker. This is Joanne McTin. She is a biologist. Joanne is broadly interested in the taxonomy and phylogeny of plants. Empiric system research interests have been on the family Orchidaceae in a major focus on the tropical taxa, especially from Africa. She is interested in a species level problem, including species delimitation and classification. This is about the flower or seed flower from Africa, and also her second long life path is teaching with the goal to inspire a student. The subject she is interested in the most gamifications. She gamify academic courses at the University of Gdansk. She said the teachers not boring anymore. Not online yet. We go to the Mr. Penny Chalit from the state, from the what we say, University Islam Indonesia, Negeri State University of Islam in Jakarta. Mr. Penny is as a social economist. He is associate professor and lecturer at the Faculty of Economic and Business. Start the State Islamic University in Jakarta. He has educational background on the education from Western philosophy and facilitate subject on the regional finance, design and evaluation development project, economic sociology and social research methodology. He has wide experience on development consultancy to Indonesian ministry and international agencies such as World Bank and UNDP project for last 13 years. Recently, he focused on to improve the quality higher education output and outcomes is it is for sure that the way that lecturing have been in line to the rapid change of technology and labor market. He applied for he applied gamification to two classes in the last second semester in sociology of economic, already in continuing his semester on this subject, regional finance. So time is your Penin challenge. See you again online.
Good morning for the college from Europe and also good morning for the college from Indonesia. I'm going to present gamification that has been implemented for 2 semesters.
Pak Penny,
Yes,
can you show us, share your slide?
that is it. You're already there.
Share your slide.
Can you
We,
see that?
we cannot see.
Oh, there is a slide already in the screen actually.
But you don't share with us.
Oh.
Please share with us.
Yes, I already there. Can you see me, Mr. A?
I see your picture, but the slide, PowerPoint presentation slide, I don't see.
No. Come on. You're already there, huh? Can you see that?
I cannot see.
Oh.
Hi. Hi, Fanny.
Yes. Hello.
Hello. Do
Hello.
you see me?
No. I lost. Uh-oh. Hello.
Hello, Pak.
Can you see my presentation in my face also?
Still not see, Pak.
Oh, come on. How? Okay. No?
Can you instruct us?
Oh, come on. Maybe you can start with other presenter first. I try to set up
This one.
Hello.
Okay. Hello, Pak Penny.
Yes.
You go on the left side, the up left side. Share my screen.
I can see you. I can't.
We have file edit and share. You please share and share my screen.
No, I can't see you. I can't see you.
On the left side of the Cisco Web Event Center,
Yes.
you can see the file, edit, and share. Please click on share and cross through my screen.
Oh. This one I come. Come, save and close, maybe. Okay.
Share my screen.
Share.
My screen.
Oh, I can't.
On the left side.
Yes.
Up left side.
Up left side. Oh. I know. Oh, no. Cisco Web Intro. Oh. Itu, can you start with as a presenter? I will set the system first. I try from the beginning. Hello.
make your show first. We go to the, because the what we say numbering is go from this genre.
Yes,
Jana,
yes.
Oh,
Can you hear me?
says
please start.
sorry, Pak Penny.
Proceed.
Please set your slideshow and then we go. Now we go to the Joanna
Yes, please. Yeah, please.
Mitnick from Gedang University.
Mhm.
She, she's joining us now.
Yeah, please, Jana. You first.
Mm.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, but I cannot see your face.
Yeah, I cannot see my presentation.
Mm.
Uh-oh.
Please click on the share my screen
Mhm.
on the top
My
left side.
on the
Left
top.
side.
Left side, top left side.
Yes, yes.
You see the share.
Um, the file, edit, share, view, no, communicate, participant. Which
Share.
share? Okay,
Share my screen.
okay. Share my screen.
You click share and go down to my screen.
Okay, one moment, please.
Share my screen. I
Um,
can't see this.
yes,
Yes. Yes, good job.
yeah. I'm sorry for this problem.
And then you click the slideshow, please.
The slideshow. Okay. The slideshow from my computer. Yeah, my presentation.
Yes, from your computer. And then your video, we cannot see your face.
Okay. Can you see my presentation or not?
Yes,
We
I
can
can
see
see
your
you.
presentation, but your face we cannot see. Joanna,
Yes, yes, I'm here.
please turn on your video.
Video. Okay. How can I do that? Video.
Hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
You go to the your presentation,
Yes.
minimize it.
Okay.
Hmm.
Yes.
Hmm? Screw up, screw up.
Okay. I'm in. Yes. I'm in.
Okay.
Can you see me? Yes.
Yes, very good.
Okay. I'm sorry. I'm sorry for the trouble.
Hmm. This is the technology.
Uh, okay. So I'm back to my presentation. Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you see the presentation now?
Yes, everything I can see.
Okay. This is the first slide you see. Yeah.
Yes.
Because I cannot see. Okay. Let's start with gamification. Yeah.
Yes.
Um,
Please.
Yes, I'm sorry for the delay. We want to talk in this hour. We want to talk about the tool which is called gamification. Me and Wojciech Glatz from Poland, from Gdańsk University, we tried to give this tool to two universities from Indonesia. Gamification. What is, in shortly speaking, this is application of game elements, game mechanisms in the environment which is not a game, non-gaming environment. Why? To increase the motivation, to increase engagement of our our students to have a pleasure from every activity which is boring or unpleasant. So this is the perfect tool in education, because when we applicate the game mechanisms in university courses, we increase motivation and engagement of our students to learning. Uh, this is not only for students, not only at university to use. We can use it, this tool, gamification, at all stages of education, from the primary school, from the preschool even, till to learn teach the adults. We have to give pleasure from learning to our students thanks to this tool. We know that gamification has a power. This power is changing of attitude to boring activities. So we want to change the attitude of our students to attend the lectures, to work on our classes. The key word is a game. Game, gamification. Gamification is based on a game. We know why games are so interesting. Why game mechanics is so important. In games, it works very well, increasing this motivation. In the long-term computer game, as our courses at the universities, the players and our students receives many different rewards, and that are these rewards are the source of satisfaction. The players collect various goods, distract enemies, gain experience, moving to the next levels, complete the missions, and so on. This is how in games it works. We want our students to be in so-called flow. So the flow, this is the total involvement in learning. This is a kind of trance. We want our students to be in trance when they are learning. The motivation when the players are in in this trance, their motivation is extremely high. In our brain, it works very easy. When we earn numerous awards, these awards make the act of playing being automatically encoded in our brain as a beneficial thing. It is the reason that the people play games, and this is why our students want to play our game, play in our gamified course, because they think, they feel like being in a game. Playing games is always connected with positive emotions, and we use it, this connection, and we give pleasure to our students from learning. However, this is very important. One thing we need to know, that gamification is not using or designing the games, for example, board games or computer games. Let's be aware of this because it's often confused, gamification and game-based learning. Game mechanics and dynamics we use in our courses, gamified courses. This is not the same as game. Yeah, this is not a game. This is only using the game elements in our courses. Using games in education is called GBL. That means game-based learning, and it's not gamification. And we have many elements in games, and these elements we use in our courses, gamified courses. We have here some basic elements. The most important are tasks, I mean missions, So these are activities that our students make, complete. We have points. We have points for these tasks, for these activities. Different number of points for different tasks. It depends from on the how difficult the task is. We have the book of rules. We need to have the book of rules for our students. They need to know how many points are needed to have the grade A, B, C, and so on. We need to give our students the information about the number of points they have now. We need to have a story. We can add badges in our game to give our students the information about their how they how about their attitude. We can have ranks. We like to be in higher rank than before, so the ranks are very good in increasing the motivation. And we can put the trade in our game. We can put the currency and let the students buy something, buy another tasks, for example, and many different other elements we can use, leaderboards. We can give our students lives. We can put some of mystery. We can give our students to cooperate, give an option to cooperate, a social life. These are some basic elements our courses are built from. Lani and Penny later will show what elements they use in their courses. We need to know what is the teacher's role. We the teachers are only designers of learning environment. We are not playing, our students play, and because we can design this environment of learning before the course is starting. This is a perfect tool for gamification. It's a perfect tool in the student-centered approach. And at the end, for this introduction to gamification, I can give you one sentence recipe for baking a good gamified course. This is a meaningful choice given to our players, our students, in a rule-based system with clear goals for our students, challenging tasks, not boring but challenging tasks, and this is very important and very difficult to teacher, quick feedback. And this is shortly speaking what gamification is, and now we can see how these elements are used in gamified courses in Indonesia. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Yona from the Padang University. So, any participant have the question, please write down. We will give you the opportunity in the last presenter. So now we go to the second presenter. This is Dr. Lani Artanti from Mandala University of Surabaya. Please, forum is yours. Please share your slide. Go to the share.
Yes.
Yes, very good.
Okay. Uh, Good afternoon. My name is Lani Atanti. Thank you, Mr. Futi, for the chance, and I would like to say thank you for Shyamolek for giving me the chance to share my experience in implementing gamification method in several of my courses.
Bo,
This,
hello.
hello.
Your voice close to the microphone because your voice still small.
Okay. Have you heard my voice clearer?
Yes, very clear. Thank you.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, Mr. Futi. Uh, This method, the gamification method, is one of innovative pedagogy methods offered by the European universities as part of IndoPed project. In developing this method, I was mentored by Joanna and Wojtek from Gdańsk University. Thank you, Joanna. First, okay, sorry. Kelewatan. Okay, that's done. Okay. First, let me introduce the background. My background, I am from Faculty of Pharmacy at Widya Mandala Catholic University, and I teach several courses, including the basic chemistry, organic chemistry, biochemistry, molecular biology, biotechnology, and biochemistry of enzymes. All, all of these courses are mandatory except the last courses, which is the biochemistry of enzyme. And then the, uh, the gamification method was first implemented to the basic chemistry courses, which is the mandatory courses for the first year students with 2 credit units. And at the implementation, I taught 2 classes, and then they were divided into the gamified courses and also the non-gamified courses. All of the implementation process takes time for 18 weeks, started from August till December. And then maybe the first question is why I choose gamification among other methods that offered by the IndoPed project. Because in the prior courses, the basic chemistry courses, I found that the students were lack of motivation since the subject is the same as they had before in the senior high school. And also I found that many students were not engaged in the course. And then I also have a difficulty to motivate or even force students to practice the chemistry problems at home. And then after reading the gamification explanation, I found a new hope from this method because I also found that games are usually addictive to many people. Also, the games environment make the course more interesting and challenging. And then students hopefully will be more engaged in the course by by this method. And then I also hope that students will be more motivated to study independently more outside the class. And then in piloting of this method, I take several steps. First, of course, I need the mentor's help. Also, the mentors help me, coach me to design the method. We discuss about the story, the points, the activities, and how to create the online quizzes, how to convert the points from the games into the final grade. And then after the coaching processes, I continue with the independent works where I had to prepare the items need to implement this method, including the book of rules, the leaderboard platform, and then I also prepare more detail about the activities, and then I also have to prepare the online quizzes. I also need to search student assistants to help me to assess all the students' activities. And then after that, I implement the gamification method. And as Joannas explained before, the main elements in the gamification is the clear rules that we stated at the first of the classes. And these rules will be explained in the book of rules. In the book of rules here, it contains the types and number of individual tasks for the students, which are scheduled to perform in the game, also with the deadlines and also the start times. And then in this book of rules, we also set the number of points that can be earned by completing the specific task, and also how to collect how many numbers that the students should collect to achieve a desired result in the game or to obtain the final grade that they expect. And then these are the book of rules that implemented in my first course in the basic chemistry. I give the games name as the Athene, the two-headed troll. And then let me show you about the story of the mission. So here I use the fairy tale background where students are included into they are expected to imagine that they are in the Spring Kingdom. The class is at Spring Kingdom, and the king here has been very old, and he is looking for the heir of the kingdom. And he announced for any young generation in the entire kingdom, the one that could defeat the Athene. The Athene here is the giant troll that have two heads that lives in the forest surrounding the empire, and anyone who could defeat the Athene here will be crowned as the heir of the kingdom. So the mission here is to defeat the Athene and become the heir of the Spring Kingdom. So this is the story, and here also in the book of rules, I also explain the general rules, how they can gain points, and then first they are given 4 lives, and to complete the game, each player should keep at least one of their lives. And also, I also explain about the tasks of the games, where they could choose what kind of activities or what kind of missions that they can use to earn some points. And then these points will be converted into the points that will be counted in the final grade of the course. And these are the table of the game that explain each week of the class, the activities that can be chosen by the students. For example, here they can choose the lecture. Here the red one here is a mandatory activities that they should attend all of the classes. And then they also can choose, this is the homework. I give the name as the combat training. And also outside the classes, they can also choose several activities. For example, here I give the name as digging the sword, which represents the online quizzes. And each of the activities here will have a maximum point that the students can earn from the activities. Okay, and then about the activities in the class, actually the activities are the same as the conventional class. I taught the students in the class, the students follow the class, and they also have activities in the class just as the conventional one. But the difference here is the environment that in their head, in their mind, students imagine that they are in the Spring Kingdom and they have certain mission to defeat the Athens by doing several missions to accomplish. Okay, and then as Joanna said, that the key of the gamification, the success gamification implementation is the quick feedback. So this is the examples of how I give the feedback to the students, and they can see their own points here, the accumulation points, and they can see the accumulation from each week or each level. Okay, and then after implement the gamification method, I found that in the two classes that I divide into the gamified and non-gamified, the interesting results is that I found that in the cognitive results, actually there are not significantly different between the gamified course and non-gamified course. But in the gamified course, I found that the number of failed students are less than compared to the non-gamified course. And then also I found that the GPA of the class is higher compared to the non-gamified courses. And then by questionnaire, I also can evaluate that students usually found less difficulties in the gamified courses, and also they found more satisfaction by joining this method. Therefore, I decided to implement this method to my other courses. For example, these are the gamification method that I implement to the second courses, which is the biotechnology courses. Here I use the story, if you see the Resident Evil, this is much more or less the same as the story here. The students have a mission to develop antivirus that will protect them and or heal them to not to become a zombie by doing the mission that they can be gained in the games, in the courses. And then another, this is the simplest one. This is the game here I implement at the biochemistry courses. This is just the anabolic line and catabolic line, and implement to the several quizzes. If they pass a certain minimum level, they will go to the anabolic line, and they can gain a higher points by this quiz, and it will make them expected less in the final assessment. And then this the example of the implementation of gamification in the organic chemistry courses, which I asked the student to imagine that they are scientists that have to synthesize certain chemicals, which is protease inhibitor as HIV drugs, and they should gain some points to be able to synthesize these drugs by these courses. And then, sorry. This is also another example. This is the molecular biology mission, and they imagine that they are in the journey to the Jupiter, and they should prevent in the first time they are given the certain point of health, and in this journey where they can be given cosmic radiation, they should prevent the loss of their points. The cosmic radiation here is the final mid and final assessment, and they should prepare themselves to be able to to prevent their points not to be lost. And then these are the ongoing gamification courses that implement to the basic chemistry. In the second year of implementation, I used the story of a dragon slayer. And then please let me show you how what students think about the gamification. These are some short opinion about from the students that they think about the gamification. So his name is Andy Setiawan. He is a 7th semester at the Faculty of Pharmacy, Widya Mandala Catholic University. Andy said that the biotechnology course held by gamification method is interesting because students were asked to learn deeper about the material, and he hopes that in the future more lecturers or teachers could also apply this method in their courses, since this method can be used to increase their understanding that can be useful for the professional practice in the future. This is what Andy thought. And then her name is Pauline. She is at the 5th semester, and last semester she joined the biotechnology course with the gamification system. She thinks that the system is very helpful to improve the student score because the method applied various of missions, including the quizzes, various of tests, article review, making a poster, or even making a puzzle that related to the course's topic. Each mission has had its own evaluation scheme, thus it could increase the final grade. This was proven from the number of students that got an A for the course is many. More than that, this method could also help students to learn from each step or each process, and could also force students to learn routinely and not following the last-minute study system. But she also thinks that this game also have several lags, which is the several students feel this game is burdensome because of the number of the missions. And she has a suggestion. She thinks that for the next implementation, maybe it will be better if we held a pre-test or post-test quizzes for the students. Okay, and then please let me the last student's opinion. His name is Han. He is at a 7th semester. His opinion for gamification method in the biotechnology class, it could increase the students' motivation to learn and also can give the students an encouragement to learn biotechnology more from outside sources, not from the class or the teachers. And also the students can get rewards from the activities. And he suggests that in this gamification method can also be applied to other courses. Okay. Mana Pak yang next? Okay, thank you, Mr. Putri.
Miss Lani Hatanti from the Mandala University of Surabaya. Now we go to the third one, Mr. Panin Chalit from the UIN. Okay. The floor is yours, Pak. Penit.
Yes. Thank you.
You can share your slide already.
Yeah. Okay. My screen. Yes. Can you see? Hello.
Hello, still process. Yeah, okay.
Okay. Let's wait for a while.
Your voice very slow, sir.
Okay. I will speak a little louder, huh?
You come closely to the microphone.
Yes. Do you see my presentation?
Yes.
Okay.
Please click on slideshow, sir.
Okay. From the beginning. Yeah. Okay now.
Hmm.
Okay, let me start. I introduce myself. I'm Penny Khalid from Faculty of Economic, UIN Jakarta. I was implemented gamification for 2 semesters. Last semester, I implemented for 2 classes or 72 students. And for this semester, I applied for 1 or 2 classes again for different topics.
Masuk.
This one. For
Hello,
this
Pak.
topic, yes.
Your voice still small. Your voice.
Wow. Still small?
Yes.
Mm. How about now? It's okay now? Hello?
More
How about now? Okay?
more higher, Pak.
Halo?
Yes.
Ya. Wah, ini.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Good morning for college in Europe and good afternoon for college from Indonesia. I'm Penny Khalid from the Faculty of Economic, Universitas Islam Negeri Jakarta. I'm going to present gamification has been implemented for 2 semesters. For last semester, I implemented the sociology of economy for 2 classes in the 3rd semester. For 78 students. For this semester, I implemented also for regional finance. Okay, let me start. That soft skills should be reached by the student in the class. At the beginning, we start from the school communication skill. The second, creativity and critical thinking. Then also the academic culture. And the fourth, then we ask students to be able to work in group. This is what we call at the end, the student ability to solve the problem. So problem solving become the end of the courses. When at the beginning of implementing gamification our university, there is a big challenge. There's the changing of mindset. Not only the lecture, but also the student. They are accustomed to do the traditional approach in learning and also just do limited amount of writing and limited amount of learning. Some students only learning before a week before the exam. So when the gamification introduced us in Surabaya at the beginning of the project Indopet, we consider gamification this fit for us for 2 reasons. One, one is our students should be compete among other in the class in other classes. Yeah. So the competition will put the tough student to be the lead of the group. So then this is what we call competition. When Joanna, our mentor, introduced what is gamification. Gamification is not a game, but put the game spirit during the study in the class. So this is our keyword, the competition among students. The tough students become the leaders. This is the first one. The second one is during by because of traditional approach in learning so boring. You can imagine for 2 hours the lecturer stand up in the front of the class, explain something, and then the student just hearing and here. So they are so boring, and based on the psychology of learning, the student cannot absorb all the have been explained by the lecturer. The longer the student can see and absorb is on not more than 20 minutes. So that's the reason why we have to use all the capacity of the student, their potentiality, use all the aid just to attend their to put their attention in the subject. So the students become the more active. That we call it. The gamification put the student at the center. Activity, the center learning, they plan that they want and they explain what they're interested in. Then they have to compete one to another. But they still help others. So the competition itself, like a football, if you make a goal, this is a fourth different role of the player, even though only once has made a goal. So during this, the competition among them is will put the grade and point. The more active, the more nice player, we put the grade and the point. The grade, the point, we explained before at the first and the second of the classes. The, the, that Lani mentioned also, Yana mentioned about the rule of game or the book of rules. The book of rules, just four important things in it. What the task of the student, what they get the point, what they have to do to get the point. The more point they get, the higher they get later on. And the grade, and the last one is evaluation system. So in the book of rule, there is we explain to be understood before the class starts. That's the important thing. So the student, that I mean, the role of facilitator comes. I mean, I don't call anymore I'm teacher, I'm lecturer. Now we change from the lecturer become facilitator or coach. We are not play the important, the more dominant one in the class anymore, because the student will take over the role what they have done. So we are facilitate the student if there are some difficulties to find something, out to difficulties to seek for such learning resources. So the coach, that's I think the coach this the fit word to use. Like in football, the coach not play, but they know how the tactic, the strategy. So like a lecturer, they are not the only one who can explain because the remaining resources always available out there. The coach and tell them how to do and what kind of work have to be done before something to do in the class. So this is what we call the role of the facilitator or the coach. The role of facilitator coach to facilitate and guide students toward the discovery of critical insights and cover of broader lesson through the full questioning, listening, responding, and debating. So the core is questioning, listening, responding, and debating. That is a kind of sequential capacity that you have to be by the student. So the student task, preparing learning material and places in a form to be shared and discussed with their group and class. If there is several class outside there, then they have to bring in the class. First, they have to discuss in the group. because we divide 7 group in the class. For each group consists of 5 or 6 students. If that discuss outside there, they bring in the class and they discuss among one group first, their own group. And then if they're finished, how to analyze and all things issues related to the cases and the discussion put in the class. So the other group can also participate in discussion. So then participate actively as initiator, contributor, and as listener to the help advanced learning. The teamwork is more important here because we realize if you work outside, the most important thing is how to work with others, work in team. So then if you're in team, at the beginning, before the team is established, we together with the student divide 7 or 6 groups, 6 teams. Each team should be their coordinator. The coordinator should be appointed by the members. If the coordinator has been appointed, we discuss why he or she was appointed, what the reason. And we also ask for the coordinator, why you agree to be the coordinator? Because as coordinator, just extra responsibility. So that kind is the mechanism. The process for us is most important. Then they can argue if they do something, if they think something, there should be their argument. Argument why you choose. Argument why you not choose. Okay. So learning is not only the class, but the more important is reflecting and applying insight and lesson in the broader context of their academic, professional, and personal life. That is why we are so concerned about teamwork in the class. Then, that is subject of soft skill. I think already mentioned by Johanna and Lani. I will not go to detail to this. Then, I come to the challenge. The challenge is that is difficult because we are not rely only on the class, micro teaching, but we almost 1/3 of our time will spend outside the class. So what I mean outside is can be observed the phenomena outside of the campus. Then what link and match what we need is to work with, to have collaborative work. For Indonesian, I think not Indonesia only, that is not so easy to find the third parties for collaborative work. Company maybe sometimes they like it, but some more of them don't like to accept our student to work with. The second, to prove output and outcome. This also because not only the process is really high, really open in the campus, but the output and outcome should be proved there because the target should be clear. What kind of target we have to get after the classes. So the third, lack of support system and facilities needed for learning reform. For our case, that is because the new system introduced and also need facilities, new facilities. Facilitation. It is really need for new approach. But this is how the second question, how to convince the management that the new facilities according to the need is really important. This is also the second challenge for us because we're doing some new approach. The third and the fourth need more consent and commitment from faculty members and management. Because for our Indoped system, we have 3 in our faculty in PMR, LCM, and gamification. That's not the student, not faculty members are interested in those method, in this approach. So we have to convince them to be commitment for new thing that we want to do, because that is really fit to our need now. So the fifth, for certain degree, there is an effort to change among established lecturers, because they are already in comfort zone. The comfort zone, they are already sometimes just teaching 1 hour and then they leave the class. So, but for the gamification, really the dynamic among the student, and also together with the coaching or facilitator, they will be part of the group, will be part of the discussion system and mechanism inside the classes. And also, they are not only in the classes but so outside. They have to go outside and discuss with others and write a report on that. Now, so what the kind of evaluation? For us, before the evaluation for the student only consists of three. One is mid-semester. The second is final exam, final semester, and sometimes homework, paper 10 pages or 5 pages. But because all the time the students are in competition in the class, in competition for seek the resources, and the competition they make a paper, the competition they sit and compete to get the new issues, new case outside there. So any single effort that they have in that should be put grade or point there. So I developed this is 10 different things to be evaluated for the student. The student evaluate start from the beginning of the session until the end of the session. In our faculty, we have in semester 16 sessions. So 16 sessions, all the students should be put the grade and point anything else in there in the class. One is bonus for grade A. If a student have a grade for prerequisite subject before they took sociology, economy, for example, they have 5 grade as a bonus. Yeah. Then paper writing, that is 30 point, and presentation from the paper they have worked with in team, then they get 15. Active in class, in group. I mean, during the group, we observe them, who is the very active, who is very has initiative, and then we put more point here, 20. The fourth. And the fifth, that's quiz twice. The short question at the beginning of the class. We put it to 20 point here. And then online task. We call it search and comment. The student asked to seek any cases, new cases, and they write a report and evaluation in critical thinking on the new cases for each student, not in the group. So they will have 20 points. Then in group dynamic, we have always each group should be meet with us twice or 3 times. First, discuss about the topic. The second, how to do resources. The third, how to read the report. Each group should be stand after the class to discuss and some guidance from our side, from the facilitator. Then mid test 20 and final test on the 30. Then the 10 using and arguing in foreign language. We put it 10 point. Because for us, the foreign language, particularly for economy, almost 90 or 80% our literature is are written in English. So if they use any language, for my case, if you use German, English, or Arabic, that's okay for me. Then we put more 10 points. Cumulatively, there is 180 points for 10 aspects for evaluation. Based on this system, I realized almost all of them get B and A at the end of the class. The A for Indonesian, the best, and the second best is B. So almost they are B and A, depending on how the active they are. So the competition will be ended with the grade A and B. So there the student always compete with other really serious to get the point, to get E and B at the end. So that is really what we call competition among them really happen. Okay, I will show later on at the end how I did the evaluation for the class. But now let's say result and experiences in practicing, in implementing of gamification in my class. Facilitator, introduce the lecture to new approach. Not for me, I'm learning much more from Joanna and our college from Gedang. I was there, stayed there for five days, and Joanna also come with her colleague to Jakarta twice. So, facilitator of I experienced in different atmosphere. The learning atmosphere is different from what I have done before. The sport tried to combine learning resources because what I did is not very exactly what Johanna told us. We figure what is history, but only that's to present the competition in the class and in learning. Some is still trying to open mind, our college as facilitator. But the experience is facilitator, exciting and challenging, really exciting, even though every week I have to present the score at the beginning of the class. Each student will know how much the point have been gotten without present the name of the student in front of in the screen. What I present is the grade, the point, and the they said the not the real name. So each student will know how much they got so far, how much the point they got so far. Then they have to spirit to get if they want to get more grade. Maybe so far they get C, for example, because not finished yet, and then how much they have to get the point, to have the point to get a B or E. So that is exciting and challenging. Of course, more work and more time, but more satisfied with class dynamic. We have become really happy and really enjoy work with students and observe and work and discuss with them. For the student, as a result, more active in class and out class, increasing learning capacity, and significantly increase the final grade. For before, without gamification, for my class, for example, about 5 students get C. And one might be because of laziness, my one get D. But now, almost all of them, only one last place only 2 get C. Other is get B and A. They are really happy. So that significantly increase the final grade for the student. So then student for the experiences, open competition, developing different capacities, self-serving any possible learning resources or sources. They have to do at least 3 things to compete with other students. So that's the competition really present during our classes. Let me see another how to put and so the last semester I already evaluated. That's an example of grade I put for my student for last semester. Let's say this trust 1, trust 2, trust 3, 4, 5 until the end of the number of the student. This is the real name. In the right side, this is the real name. I don't put the real name in the screen. One I put in only this one. Trust 1, trust 1, trust until 1 until the end, until 40. 40 students in my class. For the class A, they don't know what is, for example, trust 4. They only know trust 4 only Mr. Rizky Yudhistira. The other students don't know that the fourth trust 4 is Rizky. So when we present, when we screen up this score, all this score to the in the screen, the only Rizky who knows their grade like this. Okay, that is an example. Then I think this is the end of my presentation. Thank you, Mr. Uti, and thank you for our college for Europe and for Indonesia. Good evening and good morning.
Okay, thank you, Pak Penins from the Jakarta. Now we go to the last session 2, to the question and answer. So I will see from the question from Reva Octiana. Should we standardize the assessment of, no, it's not. Which one? This one, eh? Okay, the question 1 is, to my understanding, gamification is good for the student grade 1 until 12. But the higher education is rather difficult to attract the participants, their participation. What your Jonah? Oh, what is the question? I don't understand. What do you think about attraction of for higher education students? And then the second question is how to apply gamification to vocational process learning. And then this one. Is it advisable to use gamification based on curriculum or on single topic? Then you can see on the question message.
Can you write the question?
You can see in the message on the what we say, the chat. Chat. You click on the chat Q&A, and then you see the question. So can you share experience in the dividing student into classes, game or non-games? And then how could this be applied to the basic education program? Many questions. What is the game type of the PVP? I don't know. Play versus player. And then many games. So you can see and answer. So the first one, I would like to invite Joanna. Joanna is still here?
Yes, I am.
Yes.
I was trying to answer all these questions during our presentations. Almost all these questions you read, I answered them. Yes, the gamification can be used also in primary school, in the lowest education children, and also with adults. We work with adults, with students, and it works on every stage of education. It doesn't matter how old your students are. The
Mm.
next question was about the vocational courses. I
Mm.
mean, professional, yeah.
Yes.
It also doesn't matter if it is what kind of process of education it is. It could be vocational education also. The game mechanics is the same. The rules are the same. We always engage the people that are gamified. We always engage them into the process when we use the tasks, the points, the mystery, the leaderboards,
Mm.
the story, and so on. All these elements we were talking about, Penny was talking, Lani was talking about, and I was introduced to these elements. These elements from the games are these these elements we can put in every process. It independently from the age of our students, and it doesn't matter what kind of course it is. Yeah, it could be also vocational course, mathematics, languages, every type of education. It doesn't matter.
Mm.
This is, yeah. So most of these questions I was answering them in the chat. You can.
Okay, okay, thank you very much. Now we go to Bulani. Can you answer Bulani in briefly because we have another session, and then Penny also some advice. So first we invite Bulani. You are there, Bulani. You still there?
Yes.
Okay. In briefly because we have another section, the last session.
Yes. Okay. I think the questions already been answered by Joanna. I
But
just want to
you
add.
you can
Yeah.
add some, yes.
Yes. Okay. Uh, as Joanna said, that this gamification can be implemented to any type of courses first,
Mm.
and then at any level of education. So, but the point is the minimum weeks is several weeks, 2 to 3 weeks, because this is not the same as the game-based learning. This is a gamification, so it needs a process to be implemented. Yeah, so we should design uh, the games in several weeks. In several weeks, but the point is we can implement this method for any kind of any type of courses. In my courses, basic chemistry is a problem solving skills, calculation skills. But in my other courses, for example, the biotechnology, the courses here is much more about the concepts
Mm.
understanding. So it doesn't matter how, what type of the courses. Thank you.
What do you think about the vocational education? Because the gamification is because vocational education we should do a lot of practicum.
Yeah, the occasional process learning can also be can also apply this method. Uh, Also, it can also put an inherent process in the courses and also in the practicum.
Mm.
Yeah, occasional, it can also be implemented.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah,
Now we
thank
go
you.
to Mr. Pane.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, Mr. Tuti.
Yes.
For, as I mentioned before, the gamification is not not game, but to put the game spirit in the learning. That is keyword. So if used for the children, for example, then we choose the kind of example of task according to the children. And for the high school also, and for the university also, the kind of to put the spirit, let's say, to put more in vocational learning. The vocational thing, this is the kind of competition about the time, about the quality, about the procedure, about there is a competition all. Why we don't put there, and the more perfect, the more speedy one, that become the grade. Then the important thing for gamification is student active learning.
Connect-connectnya lama.
The more important thing for gamification is student active learning. So the center of learning is on the own of the student. We lecture on the facilitation and coach. That's what the talk. The important thing is because that as a game, all potential that they have the student should be developed. The way to develop